Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me is the destroyer of all worlds.
There
Ben.
was a lot of interesting phrases being tossed around. I was tempted to. I took a few screenshots to reference some things, but there's a lot. There's a lot there. The speeches.
I should have called you Baldy Locks.
I mean, call me. I don't even know. I don't even know where to start.
Okay, so
call me Juggy.
Give Ben a bunch of a sampler of comic books to read, and with a mix. It's all Marvel stuff, but I went with a mix of super classic stuff and just some fun stuff.
Yeah.
So we did. I wanted to do some classic Fantastic Four, so we did the Galactus trilogy, and then a sort of follow-up story that came later, the Peril and the Power, where Doctor Doom steals the Silver Surfer's powers. Also, for Doctor Doom stuff, did some Spider-Man stories, 2 issues of Spidey Super Stories that are hilarious and for young readers, and a tie-in to a TV show. And then one of those stories, like the first story in the newspaper comic book of Spider-Man is like kind of a retelling of that comic, so we had to do that too. I decided, and then we also did Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut, which is a 2-issue Spider-Man story. And then, because Ben likes Planet Hulk so much, I threw in World War Hulk.
Hell yeah. I mean, I can shorten that summary. You gave me a lot of garbage.
Wow.
And underneath the garbage were like 2 gems. Actually, that's not true. You gave me a handful of garbage, and there was a gem inside. And then you gave me like World War Hulk. Like, I saved that one for last because I knew it was gonna be a banger.
Sure.
I'm totally open to you like explaining why these are good, but it's as someone, this is, I mean, aside from like, you know, even aside from Beowulf, like this felt different from Beowulf, like those old DC comics, the super Spidey stories, and I guess maybe more so the Galactus trilogy than Juggernaut. I'm looking to see what year Juggernaut is, if I have it. I don't. Yeah, just definitely sort of in the writing aside, but definitely that sort of like not clearly designed to be read like as they come out, and not back to back to back. Because I was like, Jesus, if they tell me that like Doctor Doom is addressing the UN one more time, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Like, I mean, the newspaper comic is hilarious that it's like the end of every panel. The first panel is always recapping the last strip, and the last panel is always.
It's easily the roughest read. It was so brutal going through, and I'm like, I knew what was going on, but it just, there was
I find that stuff hilarious.
I mean, it's great. It's great, but like also it's fucking rough. Like, you know, I don't think I've ever had like a true disdain for comics or anything, like prior to sort of falling into Dark Lord of the Sith. But I was like reading when I was reading these, like those for the Spidey stories in particular, I'm like, all right, this is why comics are lame. This is why they
Wow.
suck.
I mean, Spidey Stories is a particular example because it's made for babies.
Yeah,
Like like they don't even put complete sentences in the word balloons. They're always breaking them up so that
dude,
like
yeah.
toddlers can wrap their heads around them.
It was just so rough. I had
They're not they're not real written. They're hilarious. But yeah.
and the yeah, I have them. So this was from just on that like kind of similar note. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was broken up between issues. I think it's just like it felt like some of the weird. This would be in the Galactus trilogy. It felt like just sort of the exposition. I noticed it. But I'm rambling and like trying to sort this out in my brain. They're doing like this exposition for people who haven't been following along, but also trying to make it, brief enough so that people who are balls deep in this are not going to roll their eyes or whatever. But it also seemed kind of repetitive. So like they hit us with I can create a negative zone around our land, followed by a zone that nothing can penetrate, and then what's his name is like, no time to talk, nothing can penetrate a negative zone. Like it seems like a negative zone is something that we just came up with, but now he knows that nothing can penetrate it because the villain told him that nothing can penetrate it. But it's presented as like the sky is blue, nothing can penetrate a negative zone, and later he's like, nothing yet known to science can penetrate a negative zone. And I'm like, did you not just hear of this like 30 seconds ago? I know you've been doing some science. I see you with the Erlenmeyer flask, but so just like a lot of repetition and stuff. I mean, it's still like it was overall a good time. It's like the kind of bad still seems a little bit harsh, but it's like the I'm shitting on it, but it was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, but like I mean, so that's like 1960s comics by Stan the Man Lee.
Yeah.
Where like he has a style, and that style involves being overwritten for sure. Of just saying the thing too many times. Because like what he's doing is like the art is coming to him and he's like just filling it in kind of.
Yeah.
Just filling up the page.
Oh shit. Okay. I think it was mostly in Juggernaut. This didn't seem like it wasn't a thing that came up in the Spidey stories, and I don't think it was much of a thing in Galactus, but in Juggernaut I noticed a lot of like, instead, sometimes like a book or even the first episodes of Mandalorian, right? The great thing was that they were showing us and not telling us. And sometimes people tell more than they show, and maybe sometimes people show more than they tell. It can go the other way. Juggernaut decided to do both. Like we got a scene of Spider-Man looking over the ocean, like after a bad thing happened, and then the text would be like, Spider-Man overlooks the ocean as a bad thing happened after a bad thing happened. And I'm like, this reads like a accessibility, like descriptive audio commentary or whatever for like the seeing impaired. But I'm reading it and not being it was just
I don't know
I
how
just noticed that.
I don't know if Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut was done Marvel style, because with the way Marvel style, like, it really is like the artist is, it's like two people telling you a thing because two people are literally telling you the thing. Like the dialogue is coming in from somebody else than the person who drew the art, so they feel like compelled to tell you again or whatever. But I don't actually know if that's how that book was done.
Gotcha.
Off the top of my head, it probably was, but I'm not sure.
That was spicy. but I like not that bad.
Sure. So let's go through them.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Galactus trilogy, just because that's the oldest comic
Okay.
here. And it's like this is like the first big Marvel event story, kind of like
Really?
Marvel going big scale. This is kind of the thing.
Man.
And
See,
going back to it is hilarious, just because it's not the way comics are, like, stories within comics are paced anymore, where it's like issue starts with the end of the last story, and then the last issue like ends halfway through the issue, and then like the soap opera just keeps going for a few more pages. Like, that's just not
Yeah.
really how comics work anymore, because they're thoughtful to, like, we might put this in a trade paperback that someone will just buy that, rather than like just churning out this ongoing thing that's coming out every week, and either people are like getting all of them, or they're just getting like one randomly or whatever.
Yeah. See, this is like, I mean, when I was reading it, sort of like, like it's kind of lame, kind of shite, but like this is the context I needed, right? Like that this is like a big event, which is, looking back, like hilarious, like after the other events that I had zero context for, and now this is an event. Like this is like a blink in some of the modern stuff we've read.
Yeah.
So
it's just like,
but that's cool.
It's completely different. Like the sky is on fire.
The sky is
like,
on fucking fire.
We get like 3 panels of it or whatever.
Dude, yeah. And they're like, the Human Torch, you fucker. You're made of fire. The sky is on fire. I can do the math.
Like, people are rioting for like
yeah.
1 page.
Yeah. For like 30 seconds there was mass pandemonium.
But the other thing is in Mr. Miracle, the story that Jack and Flashman write, the one, like the kid drawing stuff, that's retelling this, but like with Batman instead of the Fantastic Four. If you remember that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's his son, like showing the nanny or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Because like this is like the primordial, like,
gotcha.
This is what comic books are, story kind of thing.
I didn't make that connection
in terms of a big event. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was excited at first when I saw Silver Surfer, because I remembered him from Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
This Silver Surfer wasn't as cool.
Weird.
He did not have the same vibe to him. And he got converted to a human lover real fucking fast.
I mean, everything happens fast.
It's
in this
just
comic.
Like, people are, it's pretty wild. I mean, like, what's his name had to leave Crystal in the negative zone for all of time, and he got over it. Also, like, I was wondering, because I don't know, I've never even seen, like with Spider-Man, I had all these weird notions, like, that were from the what's his name films from like early 2000s.
The Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, ones? Tobey Maguire. I keep fucking. Why do I? Is it like the director Remy?
Sam Raimi. Yeah.
Sam Raimi.
Who directed the Evil Dead movies.
Okay, I keep wanting to use Raimi as a first name, and going from there,
No.
and I just keep getting myself confused. Anyway,
Just thinking of Rami Malek, who was on Mr. Robot and played Freddie Mercury in that movie.
no, but now I probably will, so thanks for that extra layer.
He was in Until Dawn.
But I had all of these weird notions about Spider-Man, like the organic web shooters, right? Because this is the only film I saw, or this is the only interaction I had with Spider-Man. I don't even have that for the Fantastic Four because I literally had never seen anything like other than tiny bits of the commercials or anything like that.
Oh, weird.
So
you got, like, no context for the Fantastic Four.
I just like. I think like offhand, I forgot that like the Human Torch is part of the Fantastic Four. Like, I think gun
only
to,
go with the.
I think gun to my head.
What era? There was some era where there was a Fantastic Four cartoon, but they were like, no, the Human Torch. We don't want kids to light themselves on fire, so they replaced him with Herbie the robot.
That's fucking great. Fucking Herbie. Amazing.
Herbie, dude.
No, I can't remember it all. Like I think the Thing I've always known, is his name just literally Mr. Fantastic, stretchy boy?
Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic, sure. And like since then we've ran into him a little bit more. But
yeah.
I knew there was Stretchy Boy, and I knew there was the Thing, and I mean, like, maybe it's just the commercials doing the work of the time. I had no idea that the woman existed. Real talk, like, just at all. Like based on the name Fantastic Four, it made sense that there was a fourth member, but I didn't know.
I mean, she must have just been invisible every time you saw.
So, the thing that kind of like it bugged me a little bit, and it was a little bit more noticeable, like especially going into world. I'm waiting for myself to bunk up the syllables in this World War Hulk. Because we also had the Thing in there. Was he just like? Was caveman speak his shtick? Did he always just sound stupid?
The Thing?
Yeah.
He's from Brooklyn. He has a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, but why is he always saying like you is?
This is Brooklyn accent.
Ugh. I'm never like.
He's from Yancey Street.
The other day. I forget
he grew up with the Yankee Street Toughs.
I forget the context, but the other day Anya asked if I would ever want to live in Brooklyn. Like legitimately, I don't know why. I forget why this came up.
It's an entirely different era of Brooklyn, but sure.
She asked, and like now it's an even harder no. I don't want my kids growing up with that.
I assure you, Brooklyn is very different.
Nope. My knowledge of Brooklyn is solidified as a 1966
He's actually, I guess he's
Fantastic Four. He's from Manhattan? That's even worse.
Well, he's from Yancey Street, which is a made-up thing.
How about?
I guess it's Lower East Side Manhattan.
I can meet in the middle.
But it's like where Manhattan leads into Brooklyn.
I'm going to write off the entire state just in case.
All New York? Sure.
No, it seemed like they were really playing it up. Like I didn't even catch that it was an accent. To me, it literally just seemed more like caveman speak or something. Where is this?
Look, he's a great pilot.
I didn't. How am I supposed to get that? How am I supposed to get that from this comic?
You're not. That's not there. He's the big rock guy.
How am I supposed? Like I didn't.
The thing is like the thing is the primordial Marvel character though. I will say.
I mean,
And then he kind of gets replaced by Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man then becomes like the refinement, because what Marvel Comics, like their origin, where they come from is like out of monster comic books, like monster stories, and then making them like human tragedy or whatever. Like the Thing is a person who's been turned into a rock monster, and that makes him really strong, but also he's a fucking rock monster, and that kind of sucks.
yeah.
That's not the best.
Yeah, no.
So like his relationship with Alicia is like she's blind, but she just like sees like the man inside or whatever. So she just loves him. But he's like feels incredible guilt about who he is. That he's this rock monster. Sure.
Has Alicia ever felt his face? Does she know he's a rock monster?
She knows, yes.
Okay.
She doesn't care. Like, if she saw him, she probably would. It would be fine. But he's got that insecurity.
I guess I'd open up the comic here to look like they're doing the enough as ENUFF.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I definitely was not reading this in like a Brooklyn accent or any sort of accent. I was doing it in like I guess kind of like an uneducated accent, I guess. Is the vibe I was getting. Not judgy.
The Thing is smart. He's not smart.
I guess, but like he was just mopey all the time and he kept saying stuff, and I mean now I can obviously
he is definitely mopey all the time. That is correct.
I can like flip the switch in my head now and just read it like we go a couple panels over, and maybe he's not uneducated, maybe he's just like, hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah, he's gruff.
Yeah, it's definitely
the important thing is he doesn't quit.
He doesn't.
He's got that like, just gonna. The Thing. It's also interesting just because the Thing used to be like a way more important Marvel character than he is in the last like 30 years or whatever.
I was gonna say like a long time.
Yeah, or maybe even longer than that. He used to be a more popular character.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna set him up in World War Hulk. There it is, World War Hulk, as like kind of a match. They didn't, and it was great. I was real happy about it. Oh, we'll get to that though. So,
sure.
Galactus is I mean, I expected more. Like, I guess when they said he was going to drain the earth, I didn't expect him to need to set up like an elaborate machine to do it.
No, he's got to set up his Brita water filter, dude.
Yeah. And he's like, in 1,000 years, this has never failed. And then it shows, is it the Thing just like breaking it? Or 1,000 millennia or something, or 1,000 eons or whatever? Like,
well, they also established he never tried to eat a planet with people on it before.
Had he never? Oh yeah, I guess
in this story, that's what they say.
I guess yeah.
That's like true. Not. They don't really stick with that going forward. But that's definitely what they established in this story.
Yeah.
Like Uatu's head also gets much, much bigger over time.
I guess it seemed like they I do remember them mentioning that like normally he devours like dead planets or whatever, or planets with like no sentient beings.
But the point is, like, to him, he's operating at a higher scale, so it doesn't really matter to him.
Yeah. I guess the tone that's like given to this whole thing, they say that he's not consuming planets with other people, but like the severity that they're giving to this is like he has, like they're making it like if the dude's just consuming dead planets, like who really cares? I don't know. There was like just some like disconnects with like how severe.
But he definitely wants to eat this planet, and he definitely doesn't care about eating.
It doesn't help that he's like, what, 12 feet tall, 15 feet tall? Like, he's big, but he's not huge.
Yes, also Galactus would get bigger over time.
Which makes sense. His name's Galactus, not Kong-actus.
I mean, I'm pretty sure when Jack Kirby was drawing him, though, he was just drawing God. And then Stan Lee was like, he's a Galactus. The guy with the G on his chest.
And a fucking hat. A big hat.
Yeah, and
slash mask.
Shorts. With bike shorts. I love Galactus's shorts. They're so good.
Well, dude, he needs them.
I mean, he's also they colored him the wrong colors in the first issue, too.
I not even
green on the last page where he shows up.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even put that together. Honestly, like, I just thought it, I guess
wrong colors.
Yeah, I guess I just thought it was like meant to emulate like a sort of lighting or something. There's like one of these, I don't know which one it was. It was one of the older ones, but like it was a crowd of normal people, and then two people super close up to the foreground were like painted fire truck red.
Yeah,
like their
that's
entire
lighting.
Yeah, but the lighting, it didn't really like. It was there's no subtlety to it. Like, there's no gradient lighting. Yeah. You're either all
definitely
red.
No subtlety to
You're
it.
fucking colored like a tomato, or just.
Because think of it like this: these comics, like we're seeing them in PDFs.
Yeah,
these comics were printed on like garbage paper in the 60s with ink. Like, the reason the colors are so heightened is because they need to stand out on this newsprint they're being put onto.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it has like, it's like when you like upscale pixel art or whatever, like compared to like what it was actually supposed to look like when it was on a CRT or whatever.
Oh, sure.
In terms of like the way to think about it, I think.
Yeah, like it's
particularly with something like this old, like I like how the colors in these comics look, because it was a thing of like seeing actual older issues or whatever with like Jack Kirby art. They never stood out to me in the same way, just because like the coloring would be so rough on that newsprint or whatever. This is at least like clean.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like,
like swallowing up Jack Kirby's pencils, which like I sent you that one image, are so fucking good,
and it's they're getting so like much
completely
more
swallowed.
Yeah, like the even I was looking in particular, like the obvious part that stuck out to me for some reason, like on the Thing's head, like you have that shading, and then in the actual panel, it's just fuck it, it's black.
That's the inking.
They did him dirty. I mean, they could have just done it black and white. If this was the art, fuck it. just let it go like this, manga style.
I think it's still, the inking definitely loses stuff over the pencils, even though, as because I don't have this story. I have like up to issue 50 in 2 of like the Marvel Essentials books they put out, which they just put out a newsprint in black and white.
Okay.
Because like that's a way to get those comics out cheaper. And yeah, it still has the inking problem of that inking just swallows his pencils too, still kind of.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that we just
also
need a pencil.
Like I honestly think you can see his art get better over time in terms of like how it at least translate into comics. Like I do think the next story, the Peril and the Power we did, just looks better than these issues.
Wait, the what?
The Doctor Doom story where he.
Shit, I might have forgotten to read it. Not forgotten. I didn't forget to read it. I forgot to ask you. Shit.
Sure.
Oh, that's my bad. It's all come back to me in a rush. Um, I was meaning to ask you about one of the links to the to Get Comics. It didn't work, and I was gonna like double check. I totally forgot to.
I think I sent you those. Those should have been in the PDF folder I sent you.
No, I believe, because it was the
Or
I
I
just
left them out.
grabbed
accidentally.
57 through 60 from this link when I
Yeah,
was getting all
57
this.
through 50. Oh, yeah, 57 through 60.
And
right, because they were there. That's why, because that one had them separately. Gotcha.
Yeah, and I
Okay, so you didn't read those. Okay.
that one I did not read.
Okay.
I totally I even like made a little mental note to like ask you when I saw you online next. Like when I was
Sure.
downloading these, it totally slipped my mind.
Okay, that's a little disappointing, just because
Yeah.
one of the things I think about,
Unfucking
like, I think that one sticks out as a better story in terms of like what Jack Kirby and
what I was gonna say.
Stan Lee did on Fantastic Four. Like, I just think it's a better comic. This one's more important and like sets up some of that stuff in terms of introducing the Silver Surfer and stuff. But that one's got some great Doctor Doom shit in it.
So what I'm hearing is that
say.
I missed the key to all of this.
Yeah, you missed the thing that kind of linked this stuff together.
That that kind of makes sense, because I was like reading these, I was like, there has to be something. I'm sure Hank will explain it. It turns out it was just another comic. Fuck.
Yeah, it was the story you didn't read.
Shit. Well, I'll do I'll grab it and do a little follow up or something.
Yeah.
It'll be a 30-second sound clip of like mostly silence, and then me just being like, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
You missed Doctor Doom telling the Silver Surfer that he's the gentlest and most unambitious of monarchs.
I mean, yeah. See, that
Right
definitely
before he fucking gets pissed at a dude for dropping something and like slams him into a wall.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like the fucking link. Oh, that's upsetting. Damn.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's a story where Doctor Doom steals like the Silver Surfer's powers.
Okay. See, you mentioned that earlier, and even then it didn't like click that you were talking about a different comic. I'm like, in one of the Spidey stories, did he do something
No.
that they both shot beams out of their hands? Is that what he's talking about? Like, I was okay.
When I was going through the list of Spidey stories, I did notice there is one with, it looked like there is one with Silver Surfer and Doctor Doom, so I might have to throw that in whenever you reread this too. Or actually read this, rather.
I mean, I can read it whenever. This stuff isn't long.
That's true.
It's not 144 issues of Invincible.
It's Doctor Doom saying, "Flee, you mortal fools! Flee before the matchless might, the awesome majesty of the new master of all mankind." It's Doctor Doom's riding the Silver Surfer surfboard and blasting stuff.
I mean,
So good.
dude sounds like he got a real grasp on alliteration.
Hell yeah, dude. Doctor Doom is so good. Anyway, I guess I'll have to move on with a little less connection between some of this stuff.
Now you know how I've felt.
Yeah. Alright, what do we do next? Well,
Oh, it's so good. I mean, I guess just the Spidey stories.
sure.
Sense.
Let's just start with, since we're there's no connection. Let's just start with Star Jaws.
Okay, Starjaws was fucking great. That's the gem.
Star Jaws is so fucking hilarious.
That's the gem. That was a fucking banger. What a good thing. Like, what a fun fucking comic.
So, for those who haven't read Star Jaws, and I highly recommend it, Star Jaws, coming from the pages of Spidey Super Stories, which comes to you from Marvel Comics and the TV show The Electric Company, which was a kid show that had Spider-Man segments on it, kind of Sesame Street-esque in that era. I think they were on at the same time. Originally, it's less good. But so they put out like 50 something issues of these comics that are for babies in terms of how they're written. They're like really simple. And a lot of them are retellings of other Marvel comic stories or rejiggers of old Marvel comic stories. But this one is just Star Wars, except Spider-Man instead of Luke Skywalker and Doctor Doom instead of Darth Vader,
and Paul the Ape instead of Chewie,
yes.
and hang on, and Sam the Sesame Street robot instead of R2-D2. Holy shit!
Paul is an Electric Company character. I think he's in like every issue of this comic.
Does Moondragon have a modern comic that's good?
Yeah, Moondragon, she's just like a...
Because I'm interested.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of... She's in, like, cosmic Marvel stuff. Like,
Does
she's
she
in
have...
Annihilation.
Like, does she have her own shit, or do I have to read her as a back character in some other thing? Because I'll be real, if it's the latter, I'm out.
I mostly know her as like one of the characters in a large ensemble piece or whatever.
Yeah. That's when I was looking for plant ladies. That definitely was the case. Well, there's this plant mutant that occurs in like issues 160, 252, 340, and 560 of a off-brand C-tier X-Men run. She doesn't have her own stuff, but she's there. Yeah,
she's in like, Avengers stories and Guardians of the Galaxy comics.
Sure.
Stuff like that. I don't think she ever had her own series. Yeah.
Okay. So,
I think for a while she was turned into an actual dragon, maybe?
That's lame. So I identified with one part of this comic, of the Starjaws comic, very strongly. Where, what's his name? Oh, Marvel Boy. Of course it's Marvel Boy.
Yeah.
I want a rehash of this character, but just the only difference is that it's boy with an I, and then change him accordingly. It's Marvel Boy. The part where him and Paul are at the intergalactic space bar, and he's like, "I'll have another glass of milk, please." And the fucking waiter is like, "Only babies drink milk, punk. Are you a baby?" And then was just like, "I don't like your fucking face, kid." And then, Marvel Boy beats the shit out of the guy for dissing milk. And then it turns out it's in a movie, but like, I felt that. You don't talk shit about dairy. Get out of here. But it's such a good, only babies drink milk. Are you a baby? I don't like your face. I'm gonna punch you. Like, just this fucking...
Yeah.
Such a great escalation.
Those hard turns are emblematic of
It's so
Spidey
good.
stories.
It's so good.
Look, I just love Doctor Doom saying "lock up time, Baldy locks."
It's pretty good.
I mean, also I love fucking Star Jaws, which
fact-
is the Death Star, except it has a giant mouth with fucking sharp teeth.
The fact that it's not like a metaphor and it's not like robotic, like the thing opens up to it's nope, that it has mouth, it has fangs.
Yeah.
Like actual enamel fangs.
It's big enough to just swallow the earth. It is like well larger than the earth.
Yeah.
A good deal larger than the earth itself.
Ridiculous.
So good. We get the lightsaber duel between Doctor Doom and Spider-Man. That's silly. Spider-Man takes a lightsaber off. That's
I was
gonna
say it's like a plastic lightsaber that's like just
he
there.
grabs it by the beam and then turns it on.
Yeah. And the whole time they had to make the noises themselves.
And then they defeat Starjaws by putting some TNT in space.
The fucking giant thing of TNT. Just a big goddamn box of TNT. Oh, sorry. Our heroes visit the Pentagon. We need 1 million tons of TNT, General. Anything you say, Marvel Boy. If Marvel Boy orders 1 million tons of TNT, you don't fucking second guess that. You give the man his TNT. 1 million tons. And a convenient
He's got Spider-Man
package.
with him.
Yeah, he's...
there's a good reason.
They put the TNT in space. Also,
and that shot of Starjaws swallowing like the fake Earth.
Dude, it's
just like got it inside.
So like, we don't want to show it opening its mouth so wide to get the Earth in its mouth, but just it happened. Okay, so here's the Earth inside of it. Before that, the panel of Moondragon saying "I must think hard." It's a good one. It's a pretty relatable.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Spidey stories in general, what they're really good for is fucking memes, like very memeable panels.
Yeah.
Like the there was one I almost did, which is like a Doctor Doom Namor story, and that's where like the panel of like Namor saying "Don't toot it." And
Don't toot
Doctor Doom's blowing
yeah.
a horn, and it says "toot," and it's like Doctor Doom toots as he pleases. Although in the actual comic, it's like "Don't do it, toot." Doctor Doom does as he pleases. And the meme, they just replace all the action words with "toot."
That's so good.
It's also my favorite though is like Doctor Doom's riding this like monster. He's just like, "Ha ha ha! I'm the king of the world," or whatever. He's so stoked, dude.
Yeah. So like,
and then Sharkjaws blows up.
Yeah. It happened. It seems like it's only early on in Starjaws. How? So I noticed with like in the Spidey stories and stuff, maybe the news story as well. Aunt May is like 150 years old again, and
wow,
are they?
Aunt May has only gotten younger over time. That's like the way to think about it. Like the further back in time you go, the older she is.
Yeah, hashtag blessed. How old?
She's Ben Button or whatever.
Dude, real talk. Aunt May currently in the MCU, hottest character easily. It's not even a fucking contest. Had to be said. If Henry Cavill steps in to some extent, then we'll talk. But right now, it's all Aunt May all the way. Anyway, how old is Peter supposed to be in these comics? Is he still like a...
In the Spidey story ones, I have no idea.
He doesn't look a day over 40. Like, he's looking... I assume university is like roughly where they're placing him, but holy shit, did they age him up? Like,
well, they're basing it. It's based. This design is like based on the John Romita design, like the one that's in the newspaper strips.
Oh, okay. I mean, also
because
like,
John Romita was like the second artist to take over Spider-Man. Like once Steve Ditko left the book. And Steve Ditko's Peter was way more like nerdy and scrawny, and then like Romita like handsomed up to Peter, basically.
I suppose. I guess like, do you know his age initially? Like what he was originally designed as? Because I suppose in this he could even just be an adult, like a full actual grown up, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, like I get again, like that change comes with like time has passed and Peter has grown up. Like, yeah, he's in high school in the original comics.
Okay. Oh, and these are like literally further in the future.
Yeah, these are 70s. These are 70s comics, as opposed to like 60s comics.
Okay. And I guess like, I don't know. I forget how it's handled in the Tobey Maguire version, but people really hate Spider-Man. He's a menace.
Well, so that's another thing. Like, he was hated in the Ditko era, and then he's less hated in the Romita version. But then the continuity the newspaper sets up, it's kind of like splits the difference, where it's like Romita's Peter, but the way people act about Spider-Man is closer to like the earlier Ditko days.
Okay.
With like that stuff. That stuff's actually, it's a little interesting how they did that, because that is kind of like a reverting compared to where that character was in the comics at the time, or like the regular Marvel continuity. But
gotcha.
Like Spider-Man has definitely gone through different eras where he is super hated, but that's like where he starts, because again, it's like Marvel Comics is based on monsters, but also their people, more than even like just their superheroes. So like people treating Spider-Man like he's the Hulk or whatever is like not, or the Thing. Like that's Marvel Comics.
Gotcha.
Where it starts.
Man, I'm just so. Do you think this is where they're gonna take Tom Holland's Spider-Man?
Take what?
Tom Holland's Spider-Man. MCU Spider-Man.
I don't think they. Oh my god! If they adapted Star Jaws, I would love it so much.
Well, not
I don't
fucking
see it happening.
Not Star Jaws. I fucking wish. Do you want me to look? If I have to watch every single Marvel film back to get Star Jaws, I'll do it. That's an easy sell. Like, I'll do whatever it takes to get Star Jaws into. Oh my god. We're not worthy of Star Jaws, really. No, obviously, I don't expect them to make a good decision. I meant, like, will Tom Holland's Spider-Man be hated now that... Because, you know, the Mysterio with that thing, like, oh, this is Spider-Man's identity. Are people... He tried to kill me. I'm a good guy. I promise. That whole bit.
Instead of, like, people yelling at him, Spider-Man do a flip.
That a thing that happened?
That is a thing that happens in one of those movies. Is someone pops their head out of a window. It's like, Spider-Man, do a flip. And then he does a flip. You know what? They're all hyped about it.
Yeah. I remember that. That's in the first one.
That's in Homecoming, I think, yeah.
I only remember because Anya recently watched both of those films.
Yeah.
And she was also disappointed because she didn't know that they would be. She has not seen any of the MCU stuff, and she does.
Gotcha.
She also is not like on the internet as much as I am because she's a good person.
Mhm.
So she doesn't like. She's not as aware of it. Like obviously she knows Tony Stark and that sort of shit, but she watched it and she's like, "Is there a third film? Like, is there a film that I missed? I feel like I missed a film." I had to explain that like she actually missed like 20 films and she's a fake fan. 20 films.
Yeah, I mean, she
to
missed
start
one
from the
film
beginning.
about Spider-Man. It's just that to understand that film, you need a bunch of other films.
Yeah.
You need
No,
like
I
don't know. Like,
see. She just wanted the. I think she was expecting them to do like the reboot, like the origin story. She didn't know that it was so deeply ingrained, even from the first film. I just thought, it was a validation for my.
I mean, that's the
feelings on it.
third time they're doing a Spider-Man.
Well,
movie.
and that's what I told her. I'm like, people get it.
And it's like they're tying it into the most popular film franchise in history, so they're not fucking worried about it.
Yeah.
Which I'll appreciate as someone who sees all those movies. I don't want fucking a movie about Spider-Man's origin again. I'm good, thanks.
What if they changed up his origin?
I mean, what I want is there's a series, Marvel Adventures Spider-Man, that is like more young reader focused a little bit, but actually well written. And there's for a run of that, like the recap about who Spider-Man is, like in one page. It's like, I got bit by a spider, then I was a jerk, and it shows him in a wrestling ring holding a wrestler above his head. That's like my summary of who Spider-Man
shit.
was. Like, I got spider powers, then I was a jerk.
Amazing.
And then my uncle died, so I decided to to help people.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Like, that's my version of the Spider-Man origin is, and then I was a jerk.
I'm just saying,
that's the thing. Which honestly, the Tom Holland movies skipped entirely.
Yeah. From
We never see that version of that character.
I mean, maybe it's coming.
They imply it, but no.
You don't know that.
It's too
What
beyond that.
What if Venom infects him?
Oh yeah, then we can get him being mean. But that's a different thing. It's been being aggro.
I mean, I just want it, really.
But they already have a whole Venom movie. It's not connected in the same way.
I know. I still need to see it too.
I like that dumb movie.
I had. Yeah. Anyway,
so that's Star Jaws, the greatest work of fiction ever created.
it's fucking great. It's so good. I was like, this is my, because I had read the other stories in the news story thing, and I was like, yeah. And then I got to Star Jaws, and I'm like, okay, here's my reward.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So good.
So, let's talk about these UN stories. So, Doctor Doom speaking at the UN is just like a thing that like Doctor Doom loves the UN in early stories, but the unique part about the thing to know is the Spidey stories version of this came first, which feels backwards.
I definitely thought it was the other way.
Yeah, no. Because it's like, this is the one that's like taking a story that involved the Fantastic Four and just entirely removing the Fantastic Four from it, which is what, like, what's what, because Doctor Doom he's so intrinsically tied to his like main motivating factor as a character is hating Reed Richards. Realistically, like, that's his primary thing. Everything else is kind of secondary to that. But so in this, he's just doesn't have that. And Doctor Doom also shows up a lot in the animated Spider-Man stuff from like the 60s, like this. I don't know if he's in the 60s stuff. He's definitely in the 70s stuff. Just a lot. Like Doctor Doom's in it more than the Green Goblin, and I don't know
damn.
why. Why? I mean, I do know why. It's because Doctor Doom's great, and he's the best Marvel villain. So you've got, the best Marvel hero and the best Marvel villain. You might as well just put them together.
Yeah.
It is a little weird.
I was
So
continuing in that vein. Maybe it's not the best time to ask, but it was frustrating me. What is the name of the not Doctor Doom character that was in why okay, second question. What is the comic that the Galactus drawing was in? Like the crayon drawing.
Oh,
that the
Mr.
kid did?
Miracle.
Mr. Miracle. What's the villain in that? It's not Doctor Doom.
Darkseid.
Darkseid. Right. Okay. It was stressing me out earlier. I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
it's something
Darkseid
with
is
a D.
also a Jack Kirby creation. Like Doctor Doom.
They're basically the same. They look the same. Their name starts with a D. Don't at me.
One is a man in a metal suit. One is a rock monster who wears. They both wear a skirt. That's the
There you go.
similarity.
The skirt. You got me. Their name starts with D, and they're wearing a skirt. I can't tell the difference. On paper, these might as well be identical.
Doctor Doom is more. I don't know. Doctor Doom is more fun.
I would definitely agree. He's a peaceful monarch who definitely just wants to help out the rest of the world, like he helped out. What is it? It's like Latvia, but not Latveria.
Because I don't know why, but in Marvel continuity, basically Europe is like in the Middle Ages. Basically, there's it's like feudalism there. They always show like villagers with like making an angry mob or whatever.
Wild.
It's just the way people live in Europe. Yeah. So I only really put this Spidey stories here in because I think it's hilarious that the newspaper story came afterwards.
Yeah, that's
and I was reading that newspaper story again recently. I was like, I love this. It's so silly. This is some good Doctor Doom shit. So I threw it in. It's more the thing, but you didn't read like the actual Doctor Doom story, so.
Yeah. No, I'm just as disappointed, if not more so.
Yeah. So, Doctor Doom shows up to the UN. He's like, give me all your countries. And they're like, no. And then he's like, grar. I'll put you in a weird force field.
Yeah, a lot of force fields.
But honestly, like, the most important story in this comic book is the ape escape thing. Where Paul runs away.
Yeah, Paul wants to become a spider monkey. Or whatever.
Yeah. And Spider-Man tells him that you can be a hairy hero.
Man, okay, so there was after that where he says it's Paul's spider monkey.
Even though he's an ape, but yeah.
Sure, yeah. But spider monkey is a pun, right? So what's up with this random dude who seems like he should be more relevant than he is? Where he's like, it's my man, Spidey.
Well, it's a character from
whatever Spidey can write.
Company.
Old Easy can read. I mean, he seems suave.
A
What's his
character from
deal?
a TV show.
Okay. So he does not have a comic about him.
I mean, this is the comic about him. These characters
Incredibly.
show up in these like they're not in Starjaws for whatever reason, but these characters are in a lot of these issues.
Incredibly disappointing. That man deserves his own comic.
I mean, he was on a TV show.
Needs to be the star. Wait, his own TV show?
I mean, all these characters, that whole group, the Electric Company was a kids' educational show
Oh.
in the 70s.
Oh, okay. There's been a fundamental misunderstanding.
Yeah, it was the Electric Company was the show that this comic ties into, and that show would have like Spider-Man segments in it too.
I'm gonna lead
It's like
with
a
this
sketch
by.
comedy show. Sure.
I'm gonna say like I'm a little bit tired. Not like tired, but I'm a little bit tired.
Uh-huh.
Somehow in my head, I was like, and now that you say it, like the Electric Company does sound familiar. But earlier in my head, it just like clicked. It made perfect sense that an electric company, a power and utilities company, would, want some advertising. So they got together and did like a thing.
Uh-huh. That's not what happened in this case.
This makes more sense. Huh. Look, not every day can be a winner. a lot of misunderstandings.
Sure.
Okay.
And then there's like that bunny story but the important thing is J. Jonah Jameson says, "Spider-Man, I'd rather have the Hulk." Just because Jonah hates Spider-Man.
Yeah. And that, see, like that, I'm like, okay, I guess like Hulk was a villain right now.
Hulk? Yeah, I mean, he's a monster that goes around rampaging. And Bruce Banner travels the country trying to find a cure for his
Also,
Hulkness.
I suppose, as seen on the Electric Company, like, yeah, now that it's making a lot more sense, like for the bunny story.
Yeah.
The people finding Easter eggs that's like creepy. I don't like that they're adults, but they're not. Kind of. Does that make sense?
I mean, that's children's programming.
That doesn't make it not creepy. That just makes it like creepy on a national broadcasting level.
I mean, it's the 70s. What do you want?
Yeah. Look, I've told you that the only Muppet film I've seen in its entirety is Christmas Carol, right?
Yes.
And admittedly, when I was little, I remember there was like a scene. There's like the scene where they're all like in the house or whatever, and the Muppets that are in a band are there, and they're like playing music and stuff, or they're going to play music or something. That like scene or sequence of scenes from that point to like the next couple of minutes or whatever, like haunted my nightmares. Like, I don't know what it was, but it did not feel warm and happy. It felt creepy and ominous. So,
Okay.
Old children's programming, no bueno.
There's certainly worse stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. We don't need to. We don't need to introduce me to that, though. I don't want that night.
I should watch Brigsby Bear.
Nope. I don't even want to fucking know.
Well, it's a movie based on like.
It sounds
fictional.
cursed.
It
sounds cursed.
It's
as hell.
a story about a kid who was kidnapped and then raised by his kidnappers, and the dude who kidnapped him like created this fictional TV show.
Yeah, this looks
that he
cursed.
was obsessed with.
This looks cursed as shit.
But the important thing is the dad is played by Mark Hamill.
Okay, see, that makes it a little better.
And then the rest of the movie is he gets the kid who's like now like an adult gets rescued, but he like adjusting to the real world is kind of hard because really all he cared about was that TV show that his fake kidnapper dad invented. So he decides to make a movie to end the story.
Okay. I mean, that's less cursed. I thought this was gonna be like a 70s thing or 80s thing or whatever.
Maybe it's a recent movie.
Yeah, that's much better. Brigsby Bear from the modern era is much better than Brigsby Bear from 70s.
Sure. Oh yeah, we can be done with the Spidey stories for now. Now you
That bunny was creepy
got
also.
some guts. Yeah. Again,
That's a scary story, dude. This is for kids. It's not kid. This is not kid friendly. Look,
okay.
I'm gonna hit you with a panel.
70s idea of kid friendly and the 80s idea of kid friendly very different than today's idea of kid friendly.
I guess it's like looking at old Halloween pictures. Kids were dealing with some shit back in the day.
Yeah, no one was paying attention.
That's true.
In the same way.
There it is. But no, these were, I mean, they were fun, you know. I don't like it definitely led to some questions about like the amount of clout that the Daily Bugle has. Like, how are they the ones that, like, they seem like they're kind of a shit tabloid, but at the same time they're the ones convincing Dr. Doom to come and spread peace. Like, people
different era. Newspapers mattered.
I guess. But like, people spent a lot of time shitting on it too. Like, I think it was Mary Jane was like, or no, Aunt May was like talking about how she read something in the Daily Bugle, and then Mary Jane is like shitting on it. Like, oh, well, of course that's garbage. You read it in the Bugle.
Yeah. I mean, the Bugle's just always out here posting pictures of Spider-Man on the cover at any opportunity they have. Threat or menace.
Or incredibly muscular in a latex suit.
Anyway, so now let's talk about the
Juggy?
newspaper version of this.
Oh, no, newspaper. Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk about Stan Lee and John Romita Jr. retelling this story, basically, in the newspaper. With more writing. Better writing.
Yeah.
You know, a more cumbersome format, I guess, but
yeah,
writing
overall.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
they just reminded you of stuff more.
Yeah. More eloquent Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Also a lot of talk of terrorism.
A lot of terrorism, a lot of like, I don't know, like just Dr. Doom nonsense. I don't know.
Yeah.
A step up for Dr. Doom. So what is I actually didn't see if there's even a year. What's the like gap? What's the gap between the publishing of the two? If you know.
It's like they're pretty close because the newspaper story it's like 77. They're kind of like on each other's heels.
Okay. Yeah, I guess trying to think, like, I realized it, but just every time I look at any Spider-Man comics with Jonah Jameson, like, holy shit, what's his name is like the perfect perfect actor to play him.
Oh, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Like, it's unreal.
He did a great job.
It's unreal.
He's pictures of Spider-Man, dude.
Dude, he fucking hates him. Like, it's so much worse than I remembered or whatever that, like, more modern adaptations take. Like, go on, you masked misfit, play to the crowds. Dr. Doom will clip your wings. Like, I don't think you got Dr. Doom here for world peace. I think you got him here to fuck up Spider-Man, is what it sounds like you're saying. Yeah?
Yeah. J.J. Jameson, also a big fan of Captain America.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. I see that I've never encountered, ever.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't remember if this is in the original comics, but I know there's definitely a thing of like that part of the reason Jonah hates Spider-Man was like thinking Spider-Man is like taking glory away from his son, who's like an astronaut, and like that Spider-Man being a bigger news story than his son going to space. And he's like gets cranky about it and is like, all right, we're just fucking write about how Spider-Man's a piece of shit.
Hell yeah.
But also it's just kind of with the theme of early Spider-Man where like all the bad guys are adults. Because it's like, you know, metaphor for being a teen or whatever.
Yeah.
So like Spider-Man's greatest enemy is his best friend's dad. Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
And like, you know, his boss is trying to murder him and stuff. It's like quality.
There were two things for this. I didn't know if there was a particular order for these, so I just read them alphabetically. So I did newspaper Spidey first.
Yeah, sure.
He says we Spider-Men a lot. Is that just like a one-off thing?
This is the royal we. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. I'm just like I was thinking about it and I'm like, I don't think there was like multiverse nonsense yet that I know of. Okay. And also I'm looking at the panel and he says it, and I think he does it a couple of times. He says Charlie, like don't bet on it, Charlie. Is that just another phrase, or is that like actually Dr. Doom's name, and I just missed it?
What page is that on?
24. Ooh, 24. According to the PDF. Where the webbing is.
Don't bet on it, Charlie. Charlie, I think that's like that's just 70s slang, but I think that has to do with like Vietnam slang.
I mean, like, that's the context I know it in, right?
Yeah.
But it's weird that it is being applied here. So I guess I didn't connect it in that way. It kind of makes it a little worse, honestly, but okay.
Sure, but I think that just is what it is.
Yeah. It was just one of those things where I'm like, it's like, obviously some of these, you know, they're using stuff that is clearly just common to the time, but with a name, I'm like, is it a phrase or is it dude's name? I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I feel like instead of saying tin can again, I feel like it would be mostly.
Yeah. I mean,
Tinhead or something.
I didn't think Doctor Doom's first name was Charlie, but like I don't fucking know.
It's not. It's Victor.
Okay.
It's Victor Von Doom.
Okay. See, there you go. That makes more sense. Charlie is like his less successful little brother.
Charlie Von Doom.
Or like a dog.
Uh-huh. Doom Dog.
Is there actually?
No.
Okay. Well, can't just say phrases like that and get my hopes up. Doom Dog is like, how has that not been done? It's right there.
I mean, there's Houndoom, the Pokemon.
That's not even remotely the same. I'm not only saying that because someone convinced me to trade my shiny Lugia card for a stupid Houndoom card on the bus.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got played.
There are Doom Dogs. I see them in...
Okay. As long as they're out there, you know.
I mean, they're just like robot dogs that Doom has, I guess.
So I really liked
one of the cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked how Doctor Doom handled defeat in this comic. Like,
he's like,
you know what?
Wait, you're cheering for him? I'm out of here.
I mean, also like the like tail end of things where Jonah is like, did you kick his ass? And he's like, I don't want to get my hands dirty by touching that filth. So no, I didn't. That's why.
Yeah.
Also, like,
Doctor Doom, great guy.
Yeah. Also, UN just like kind of useless.
But like also way more important than it is in the real world.
Apparently.
Like, I don't think the people at the UN have the authority to give anyone control of the world. I don't think that's how that works.
Give up your world. I forget what the hell it is. Like all the world security or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like still it's on the very last page, but it comes up a few different times, like from the UN leaders. They're like, what can we possibly do? And they're like, there's nothing we can do. He leads a country. We can't do anything. Like, if you're a leader of a country and you're doing bad stuff, we can't do anything. Like, you're part of the club.
Go to war? That's not. Can't be done.
Yeah, it's out of our hands.
He's got diplomatic immunity.
So I was like, I mean, it felt a little gross to read. Don't like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's just because like it's right. The easy alternative is right there. Like, instead of him being the ruler of a sovereign nation, like maybe he's a dude in a fucking big ass metal suit who can shoot beams out of his hands. Also that, you know, like there are other
also
reasons.
He knows magic.
Yeah, like he contacted this was it was in this story, or maybe one of the other versions where he like contacted hell or whatever and got his mask, right?
They contacted hell for his mask. I don't know. I don't remember what we read that would have been in.
It was definitely in this one. I think almost assuredly it was in yeah. In his delirium, Spider-Man on page 20, Spider-Man recalls the legendary origin of the deadly Doctor Doom. He merged his parents' legacy of witchcraft and the occult with his own all-consuming passion for science, until one day he tried to contact the Netherworld. Right. And he was disfigured, and that's where he got the mask, because he ran into some Tibetan monks.
I mean, he made the mask because his face was all fucked up.
The monks made the mask, excuse you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But then, they got the suit.
Yeah. Fun fact, it's like, I'm pretty sure in, I don't know if it's all versions, but like the thing is like, he didn't there's definitely a version of the story where like he didn't really fuck his face up that badly, but he's so fucking vain that he needed the metal mask, and then he put the metal mask on his face too fast, and that actually fucked up his face.
Oh man, that's so good.
That's my favorite version of the story.
That's very good.
Like, I mean, really wasn't that bad initially, but he was too vain. So,
I mean, really, yeah, even here, I mean, they just don't show it here, like, at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because they're going fast, and they're telling Dr. Doom's origin without Reed Richards involved. So, with no mention of Reed.
Yeah.
But that's that.
Yeah, I don't really have much more on that line.
Again,
Juggy time?
The Doctor Doom thing was gonna be the thing you didn't read, but sure. Yeah, Juggy time. Nothing can stop the Juggernaut. These two issues within a much longer run of Roger Stern's Spider-Man that are well remembered.
I mean, are they well remembered because of that fucking 11 out of 10 Juggernaut design?
I mean, that's just the classic Juggernaut design.
I'll be real, it's a silly design.
Hell yeah.
Like, at
this
first,
is like,
okay, as someone who had no idea what the Juggernaut was, and then you get that intro sequence with like him as a shadow demon, and then it cuts to what he actually is. The disappointment was palpable.
He gets his power from that demon.
Okay, but like,
he has the crystal gives him his power. It's provided by the demon.
Gonna hit you with a picture
or whatever.
Like, it's just like there's a lot most of the time it's fine, but there are some angles it's like the Simpsons aren't meant to be looked at like head on, like face forward or whatever. Like, so many of these other angles in these panels I'm looking and it looks fine, but then like they'll draw him just facing the camera, so to speak, and it's just brutal.
Another Jack Kirby design.
Hell yeah. Yeah, he gets put through. I mean, like, Spider-Man tries a lot of shit to stop him.
Yep. That's why this story is so memorable. Like, it's such a good example of Spider-Man coming up against something that's like out of his weight class, but he just like doesn't stop. 'Cause like this is like the era of like super tight Marvel continuity. So really Juggernaut is like, this is like what Juggernaut's doing in between issues of X-Men or something. Like, he's just trying to walk across New York, and then like, because that's where he happens to be, Spider-Man is like, wait, no, don't, gotta stop this. But Juggernaut's just like trying to walk in a straight line, basically.
Well, he's trying to capture Madam Web.
Yeah.
I gotta know. Does he get out of the cement at the end? Or is he just there for, like, that's how he dies?
No, Juggernaut definitely gets out of the cement.
They don't show it, right?
Yeah, no, not in this story.
Okay.
But he's not, like, dead. That's
I mean,
the end of Juggernaut.
I mean, I figured. But, like, oh, you know what?
There's...
I skipped. You know what? I missed a crucial bit. I saw the thing where it's like, ha, sure he can. Any second now. I know he can. Can't he? Can't he? I didn't see the bit at the bottom of that panel where it says the question goes unanswered. For now. Okay. That would have told me all I needed to know. We also got to look, flipping back, I forgot about it. That's Spider-Man's little belt voyeur cam that took perfect pictures of
yeah, man,
the fight.
He's got that all hooked up for his job. It's important.
Is it actually for his job, or does he just have a fucking camera on his belt?
No, it's to sell photos to the Bugle.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, again, from this, like, I didn't get the impression. He just said, it's my belt's mini camera. We don't have context.
Yeah. His job is... He makes money by selling photos of Spider-Man to the Bugle.
Yeah. But a belt camera is not taking pictures of Spider-Man. So...
You just take pictures of mirrors. I don't know. It doesn't... Yes,
just fucking posing in the...
Makes sense, but...
I'm just imagining, like, at the end now when they're talking about, like, oh, these pictures are a little grainy, but they'll print just fine, whatever. Like,
it's like, wait, what angle is this?
nobody ever was like, how did they get a dick angle picture of the fight that Spider-Man was in? So this was a pretty good... I think the same comment, I want like a modern version of this, but it's the shit I like. Unstoppable object, and he's just literally walking through shit. It was very enjoyable. And like, I do enjoy that Spider-Man like didn't... he's very optimistic is what I'll say. Like, oh, even at the very end when he's like, I'll explode a tanker truck. Nobody could get through that. Like, okay,
yeah,
I have a theory. So good. And that's a great panel as well, where he's like walking out of the flames. It's good shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like Spider-Man doesn't know what the fuck Juggernaut is, really.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what his power set is. I don't know.
Oh, and then
I love that, like, one of those early panels is just like the Spider-Man, like, where he's not fully colored in because he's just like hopping all around Juggernaut trying to stop him.
Oh yeah,
it's just like all the Spider-Mans. That shit's just so good. Juggernaut just walks through a wall.
Hell yeah, dude. I loved it. Yeah, your comment about how he doesn't know like what Juggernaut is. When he realizes that he's in some, this is a pretty serious foe and he needs some help, and Madam Web is like trying to telepathically connect to like other heroes, but it's like she might as well have fucking called them. She's like, I can't reach anybody. It went straight to voicemail. I don't know what to do. It got me. I don't know if it was supposed to, but I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be like a serious issue or if it was supposed to be a joke, but it definitely was funny. So the I guess for lack of a better word, Juggernaut's boss, just a pirate.
This is his partner.
Okay, is he just a what's his shtick? Briefly, is he just a pirate? Just a wannabe, like a modern pirate? He says "ye" a lot.
Oh fuck! I'm blanking on his name.
I can't remember either.
Black
Captain.
Tom.
Yeah.
He has like energy manipulation powers or something, I think. Oh, he can bond with and project energy through plant life. Mostly he uses like a shillelagh.
A what?
Like he's Scottish.
Oh, yeah.
So he has like a wooden stick.
Yeah, they don't.
He's like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Jeez.
Or Irish. He's Irish. Excuse me. Excuse me.
None of that got conveyed, like at all.
Yeah, I mean it's not.
Yeah.
It's not trying to. It's just
sure,
him and Juggernaut are working together. If you'd been reading X-Men, you know.
Of course. How dare I?
Yeah. Yeah, this is again, I'm saying this is tight continuity Marvel. This just happens to be a story that stands out from that era, but a little bit more in terms of being a 2-issue story, but it's still you know, is the thing of like really what's happening here is you have these characters exist in a world of an ongoing story that they just happen to be crossing through, like literally like walking through Spider-Man's neighborhood or whatever. It's Marvel continuity, baby.
Hell yeah.
It's just what comics were. They are less that these days because they like label crossovers more heavily and like market it instead of it just happening randomly.
Well, and even then, I mean, like, I'm thinking of the few, I guess, like, any of the Star Wars crossovers, those were kind of, like, baked in, because I was going through them at once, also, but, like, even which was it a Spider, the Spider-Gwen thing, where there was, like, that, just that random time skipped, and suddenly she's, like, going around telling people, like, oh, I'm sorry, your Spider-Man's dead.
Yeah. Because Spider-Geddon happened or whatever.
Yeah, like, I didn't feel like I missed anything story-wise, but that definitely didn't hit emotionally.
Yeah. Because you didn't read, I mean, that's because you didn't read the story, but yeah.
Well, yeah. It's, I think it's a, I like it better now, I guess. I don't, I've been curious, or like even the other day.
It's like definitely an impediment for new readers, but like when you're fucking in it, it's cool. Like the continuity is fun because it makes stuff feel more real. Like this is actually happening or whatever. Because if you read this story and then it's like this character is here, it's the same. That's like the part of your brain that's like, yes, that is correct. it makes the world more real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I guess ultimately I never had the strong urge to like go back and read old comics. At least like
Mm-hmm.
old mainline, like if you got more shit like Star Jaws, fucking cover me.
Uh-huh.
Bury me in it. Like that shit is like the meme stuff is top notch. I'm all about that. But
Yeah.
like I've never had the urge to go back and read like old Superman or old Iron Man or something like that necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
And I think out of all of the comics we've done, like this is the first time we've kind of gone into that territory, right? At least this much.
Yeah, because this is the one where I was like, I'm gonna pull some old classics out
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
With the Galactus stuff, just for like context for some stuff or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And I think like
and that's comes up like we did Secret Wars and like you read that like not knowing who the Fantastic Four are.
I mean they should have been more fantastic.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think for the like the samplers, classic stuff like totally fine when it's I mean, you know, especially when I don't forget.
Yeah, like I'm picking out particular issues because there's something about them, with the acknowledgement that like, you know, these are part of an ongoing story. There's like plenty of stuff you're gonna miss.
But like there's always been, you know, the tiny part of me that's like, you know, maybe I could go back and do like start reading older stuff, and this kind of confirmed like I don't really want to do that. Like I wouldn't want to read a ton of this stuff like going through it. Like
you wouldn't want to read like the 50 plus issues of Fantastic Four that came before Galactus showing up.
Not really, no. Like
it's not great.
In some newer stuff I could, I think.
Yeah. I mean, and some of that's just like, I'm with you. Like, I generally like the way modern comics are written way better. So.
Oh yeah.
It's more. It becomes more of like a standout of like. It's like the way those Jack Kirby stories work. There's so much imagination packed in. It doesn't like read great, but because like, you know, the sky is on fire for like a panel. But that idea of like the sky is on fire, really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of that stuff. It's like this has so much imagination that informs so much stuff that comes later. It's just like it's much denser, but it's maybe not like as emotionally engaging or whatever.
Yeah.
And like it's pretty rare of like modern comics that are not like retelling that stuff and trying to be engaging with it, and it's like super rare for new stuff to like really have its own new ideas. Whereas like Hoxpox, that X-Men stuff we did, that was like modern and a completely new ideas. So that was like why that thing was super special.
That stuff is that thing still running, by the way? Or is that a completed bit?
No, that's still going.
Oh. I don't feel
We're doing 10 of Swords was like the big event part of it.
I would,
because that stuff all folded into like ongoing, like multiple ongoing books. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna dust my hands of that. If there's good stuff along the way, I'm open to it. But like, I don't need to branch into.
I mean, I haven't been keeping up either. So
yeah. So I mean, speaking of modern comics.
Yeah, I mean,
World
when was World
War
Hulk?
fucking Hulk. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's only like 14 years old.
It's, I mean, whatever. It's fucking delicious. This is what I wanted, dude.
So this is drawn by John Romita Jr., John Romita's son.
Nice.
Who is one of my favorite comic book artists. I love his style.
It's very good. It was very enjoyable.
And it's funny because when he started his career, he was way more like aping his dad's style, and then like as he went on, he like changed his style to look way more like Kirby's stuff. Like his once he developed his style, it's way more Kirby than it is his dad, which is just funny to me.
So it's a very, maybe a small thing, and I don't know that I'm meant to be focusing on it, but of course those are the things that I love to hone in on. I fucking loved the art for like how any of the space scenes were handled. Like they were really fucking, they just like clicked with me. Like it was I just really like how it was handled. It was like such a cool fantasy take. It was great. Loved it.
Nice.
Yeah. And also the part where Hulk was, you know, fucking cool the whole time.
Yeah.
Like just straight through. That was cool.
This is a story where Hulk beats everybody up.
Hulk kicks the shit out of everyone and is fucking great. God, I figured they wouldn't. But I was like, I just want this comic to end with everybody in a pulp. Like just maybe this is one of those alternate things that like Hank is hooking me up with, and it just doesn't seem like it. And then everybody will just be dead at the end except Hulk. That's what I wanted in my heart.
Yeah.
That,
unfortunately, this is mainline Marvel continuity, not like a alternate universe story or whatever. It's not. Yeah. This isn't Hulk kills the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like, even though it couldn't be that, it was still fucking satisfying. Like,
yeah.
Also,
it's a very simple premise for an event comic.
God, it's what I fucking wanted though. Like coming off of Invincible with Omni-Man, just like, I mean, like, I know, you know, the literal One Punch Mans of like comics and shit, you know, they get boring after a while. You gotta give them something. But god damn, is it so nice once in a while. Oh, it's so satisfying.
He's come to smash.
And I kept like, because, you know, still not totally familiar with comics, and it's not like I've been reading anything like in this era, or like was reading the stuff before it or after it or anything, so I don't know. Yeah. So the whole time, this, no matter how much was left in the comic, if like when Doctor Strange, when the Thing got involved, right, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be like the match. And then it wasn't. Hulk kicked his ass and it was fucking cool. And then Doctor Strange shows up, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be the match. And then Hulk kicks his ass and it's fucking cool. Like it just kept happening, and it was so good. He just beats the shit out of everybody one by one. It was so good. Oh my god. And She-Hulk, I mean, you know, obligatory, like, I want her to beat me up. Literally, like, just punch me in the face. But and then she like plays the cousin card. He don't give a shit. Oh my god. It was just one after the other, just back to back. I was so happy.
God. It's pretty dedicated to what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a simplicity to it.
And then like the whole thing, like Doctor Strange, like trying to. God, that was such a good sequence where he thinks he's like gonna help him, and then Hulk just like breaks his fucking hands. He's so fucking angry, and it's so good. Oh my god.
I mean, he's got a good reason to be mad.
Yeah, dude. So
fucking the whole planet blew up, including his pregnant wife.
Yeah. So obviously we get this whole thing with shit, what's his name? Mr. Something Syndrome, Mr. Sentry. The Sentry.
Sentry. Yeah.
I got there. I mean, I have no idea what's going on there, but it was pretty self-explanatory in terms of
he was like a kind of a big deal in the Marvel comics around this era.
Yeah.
And he's basically just like the short version is just like he's like Superman for Marvel comics, but he also just has like this evil thing called the Void within him that's like the other part of his powers or whatever.
Yeah.
So that becomes a big thing with him later, but
so
he's weird. I don't love the Sentry, but for this issue as just another really strong opponent for the Hulk, he works really well.
Yeah. And that was cool. Their fight was cool. It was a very good ramp up, you know, like they kept up in the stakes, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find like about where I lost it. So they're punching the shit out of each other. They're like, all that matters is what you choose. And then we cut, and they're both like normal, like their powers have worn off or whatever. And I got that. Like that kind of made sense. And then the Hulk kind of like turns on his war clan because it turns out other people had done shit and that whole bit. And then the Hulk gets like super fucking angry, and he literally is going to like just like he's going to fucking tear apart the entire world, which was cool as hell. Holy fuck, what a like I kept getting, we're like this close to the end, and I'm like, oh my god, they're still going. like the bit in the when it's the president in the helicopter, and the dude's like, 2 more footsteps like that and we lose the eastern seaboard, like just shivers. Like it's so fucking good. And okay, the part where they lose me a bit is where he says, do it before I break the world. And then there's a thing that like a laser shoots him, and it says target Anthony Stark, commence tracking, wait for my mark, and mark. And then a big old thing happens, and he like dissolves, and he says, I'll never leave you. And then he's just there.
He's remembering when his planet blew up with that's like a flashback he's having.
Okay. And
his world blew up because he was shielding her.
Yeah.
And that was what she said to him when that happened.
Yeah. But like, what is like what's going on with the laser? Like, why is that able to
stop him? I don't know. It's a big space laser. It interrupts him.
Why didn't he just get angrier? Or did he just know that it would be enough or something? Like it just felt like a thing that had already been established that he knew about, because he was saying do it. Because he was saying do it before I break the world, and I'm like, this seems like a thing that he knew existed.
Well, he's just like, he's at a point where he's losing it emotionally, but honestly, he's not angry in the same way he was anymore, right? Because he knows that. So it's like he just needs to be like this time he needs to be physically stopped, and he's not going to get up again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like all the other times, like the Hulk gets knocked down, and then like his rage intensifies, and he comes back at you or whatever. It's kind of just like he's
okay
done or whatever emotionally.
Okay,
like,
so it's
finished.
less about the laser being like a super special Hulk laser, and more about it being like hit me
It's
again.
more about like,
and that's what I need. Okay,
yeah.
I took it the other way. Yeah, and
That's why he's like, do it. He's like, whatever your next thing is or whatever.
Yeah,
because he knows.
Yeah, and so then we have he gets put in like the chamber or whatever, 3 miles below the earth. I assume in like a sort of stasis thing.
Yeah.
Is the end page the Hulk may sleep but his rage will never die, and it's like a hulky thing coming out of the goop.
That's Scar, son of the Hulk. That's on the planet he left.
I assumed, yeah.
Like his baby lived.
Okay.
And became a Hulk thing.
Okay.
Survived in the womb of the explosion.
Which is
that is
also,
what that happened.
Like, that's cool. That's fine. That's a cool concept.
I don't love Scar. He wasn't interesting.
Yeah, no, I feel no hurt. I have no drive to follow up on it.
Yeah.
And in fact, when I read it, I was like, this seems like a metaphor. I'm going to take this metaphorically.
Okay.
Like, his rage is just there. Okay. But no, this and the Planet Hulk, fucking fantastic. Just good shit.
Yeah. And there are a bunch of tie-in comics to World War Hulk. There's one in particular, which is the one that actually ran in Hulk, which is about Hercules and Amadeus Cho.
Okay.
The 7th smartest person in the world. And that comic's really good. That's the only one I would actually do. But like, because like the tie-in issues, the way you do a tie-in issue to this though is like you just do a particular fight with this character and the Hulk or whatever, or this character and some of the Hulk's people.
Sure.
Like that's how the tie-ins to this worked. It's just like some of them are like literally just redoing fights that are in this comic, but like giving them more space.
Yeah, fleshing them out and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. Like, that's also cool, but this definitely wasn't the point where I'd like. I think the fights, they were perfect for me. I didn't want a drawn out fight. I didn't want to see Hulk bounce off people
in particular, because there's no like character to them. It's not about these characters talking to each other about like something while they fight. Yeah. It's just about the Hulk kicking the shit out of somebody. So you don't really need that for more than a couple panels in a splash page or whatever.
Well, that and like part of the appeal. I mean, it's the same thing for One Punch Man, right? Like,
sure,
to an extent. Like, I don't want to see Hulk bouncing off of somebody. I want to see him just fucking terminate them.
Yeah.
And then because then like when he does bounce off a bit more, like with the Sentry, it's cool. Like, you feel it more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they had him like have an actual, I mean, and maybe they did in another thing, but like if I had to watch a bunch of him like having a really, really tough fight with the Thing, like the Sentry fight wouldn't have felt nearly as cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel that.
Good shit.
Good shit.
And just, yeah. I mean, this is it's fucking obvious, but you know, like the emotional impact really hit as well, like just how angry he was because of reading that first comic, as opposed to
you had
dark,
the context for this one.
yeah, as opposed to what was it, black metal, dark metal, the Batman thing,
Metal,
just
Dark Knight's Metal.
oh, sorry, Dark Knight's metal.
Yeah,
Where I
the
was just
sequel
like,
story that they put out is Death Metal.
right, okay. And it had,
But I
is
don't
that
know
the
if
one
that's
that had like the
fully out
Voltron
on,
thing in the beginning? That was just like completely
Metal?
unrelated.
Yes. Yeah, Metal had that at the beginning,
Yeah.
I think.
See, I like, seems like there also could have been something there had I known where I was. But
Yeah.
this is a very good run, I guess, thing, experience. Highly enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some good. This is like some Marvel-ass Marvel comics in here. Was also part of the idea of like, this is like what Marvel Comics bullshit was about, of like, in the way that stories were used to be like paced and told and stuff or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, now I'm
Context.
I'm kind of curious. I want to see how old ass Star Wars comics were, because I have zero experience with those.
Oh, like original run Star Wars comics?
Yeah. Like just how I'm sure just
Need
not
to
to
all
my taste.
look. We need all the context for Luke. All the Luke context.
I mean, that's where it starts hitting. Though, I did read the old Godzilla comic. That was a distinctly, I mean, it's a totally different feel, I guess.
No. Look, just the Marvel Godzilla comics where you get J. Jonah Jameson sticking his head out the window to yell at Godzilla. That's the real shit.
Are those the ones we downloaded?
That's the Marvel. That's in the Marvel.
Okay,
Comics run,
it's in the okay. Hell yeah, I haven't gotten there yet.
Because the Marvel Comics run is in Marvel continuity.
Oh right. Oh yeah,
that's the
it
one
came
where,
with like tie-in things too, right? That pack that I found.
It didn't. That one didn't have tie-ins.
I thought it had a couple.
I don't think. Maybe. Oh, maybe. If the one you did have, because that character they renamed it to something other than Godzilla for future stories, but like that character, because that character just exists in Marvel Comics, it's like a lot like the Godzilla magic cards.
Yeah,
where it's like, if we want to do stuff with this card in the future, we have a version of it that's not Godzilla, but the people know.
So yeah, my thing came with for King of the Monsters, 1980-ish something, or 1970. There's like the volume. Oh god, there's 24 volumes of this. There's like the King of the Monsters stuff, and then there's like a special. There's the Thing tie-in or something, and then there's an Iron Man deal from like 4 issues, like 1985.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, the Marvel Godzilla run ran from 77 to 79.
Mm-hmm.
So the stuff that's after that is that character, but it's not called Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
It's whatever whatever they renamed him, and I just don't remember.
Gotcha.
But look, that Marvel series, Godzilla gets shrunk down to human size and walks around in a fedora and trench coat. Classic.
I mean, that's the shit. We're getting into Star Jaws territory.
Getting chased around by Dum Dum Dugan of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Dum Dum Dugan.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. All
Wears a
right.
bowler hat and has a mustache. And smokes a cigar.
Well, naturally. Yeah, that's
an episode.
that was minus 2 hours minus one of the comics.
And this is like the heart of the piece.
I can't believe, like, out of all the ones to botch. Oh well. Still a good time.
Well, yeah. All right. Email us saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Find us Salt Circle Pod on Twitter, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Salt Circle Podcast. Episodes are hosted at anchor.fm/saltcircle, and I'm on Twitter @comicpanels.
I'm not on Twitter, but I have half a mind to go address the UN. Don't worry, it's peaceful. They just have to give all their security to me. I'll take care of the rest.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. Trust me. I haven't stopped recording. This is all going in. I could monologue right now.